Our good friend Bret Baier from the Fox News Channel is on. Hey, Bret.
Hey, good morning. What a great cause.
It is a
In
great.
In fact, you know what? I'm going to make a donation right now.
All right, there you go.
Yeah, for $1,000 right now.
Hey,
Bret.
did
God
you hear
bless
that?
you.
Did you hear that?
So, because I get to double it before 8, right?
That's right. Your donation just got doubled.
All right.
So, Bret Baier, you're a good guy. Thank you so much. Listen, I want to talk to you about the thing we were talking about before you came on, and that is the fiscal cliff and those negotiations. I heard Charles Krauthammer, and we just played the soundbite from him last night on your show saying, let's go over that cliff. Let's walk away.
Well, I tell you what, it is, I think there were some Republicans yesterday who were a little shocked by Treasury Secretary Geithner's presentation up there. Just reading through the tea leaves and talking to folks and behind the scenes up there and the details of it. Essentially, he put forward the budget proposal that the president, put forward last year, that was shot down, and in addition to that, put forward the additional request or demand that the debt ceiling always be increased, so that Congress really just doesn't have a say.
That's amazing.
That it is always increased, and I think Republicans said this is, a step backwards, not a step forwards, and Charles was saying that this is just not a way to negotiate.
Yeah,
Bret, you've been in this town for a long time, and you can read the tea leaves, and you can read between the lines, and often people profess shock, even though they aren't truly shocked,
right.
But it's just for effect. But in this case, it seems as though they were genuinely surprised by what Geithner came up with, and I know I'm completely surprised by what Geithner came up with. So you have to ask the question, is this just a negotiating ploy on the part of the Obama administration, and then they realize they'll have to dial it back fairly significantly, or do they want to make Republicans look like obstructionists? What was the objective to come up with something that really genuinely wasn't expected?
Yeah, I think there are a lot of people hoping that it's a negotiating ploy, but if you looked at it on its face, that the decoupling of the tax increases and the spending cuts, pulling them apart and saying we'll do that next year, with a promise to handle entitlement reform and spending cuts next year, and we've done all the spending cuts we're going to do. And the other thing is, as far as defense cuts, the sequester essentially remains as it is. The cuts as they are would stay, and you would just have the additional tax increases. I think that a lot of people are saying that this is a negotiating tool, but boy, it's really late in the game to be at this early of a spot.
Well, Mitch McConnell, when he heard the proposal laid out by Tim Geithner, is said to have burst out in laughter, and he said later, I didn't mean to be rude. I just couldn't believe it.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. We don't have that much time. It's not like, this is, nobody saw this coming. So, all this talk about Republicans need to come to the table with specifics, really, they passed a budget. Senate Democrats didn't pass a budget for now 3.5 years. Now, while the Democrats have wind at their back, clearly, after the election win, and the president has a lot of, mojo with the election win, I don't know if the voters were saying, don't do anything. Not sure.
Now, the president goes to Pennsylvania today for an event, right, to build public support for his proposal. Give us the headlines from that. Is it going to be Republicans don't want to raise taxes on the rich? What does he hope to get out of that event today?
Yeah, I think it's just the tax increases part, putting the pressure on them. I think it'll be much like you saw in the executive office building, where he was asking people to tweet, using that hashtag, and the White House, outside pressure on lawmakers about raising taxes. I think, I think Republicans are ready at some point to do that, even if it results in, on the higher cap, like $1 million up, sees a tax increase, maybe not to the full 39.6%, but something short of that. I think that there is, from what I see, some flexibility on the top end, but for nothing on the other side, the entitlement reform or the spending cuts,
right,
is going to be tough.
Well, the thing I note is that they're talking about $1.6 trillion in tax increases. And if you raise the rates on those who make $250,000 or more, by the way, not a millionaire, but I'd say the $250,000 that didn't even come close to $1.6 trillion. So, as Tori and I have been saying this morning, hold on to your wallets. Here it comes.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you look in the details of what Geithner put up there, I mean, it's a big increase in capital gains taxes, which, as you all know, in a fragile economy has kind of a big impact, or
right.
could. It has, and there are a number of other different taxes that he lists as going up, and this is the killer for Republicans. There's increased spending. There's a lot of stimulus spending that Geithner proposes, right, including $50 billion in stimulus spending in 2013. This is as Republicans are saying, hey, we've got to cut. So you have a dichotomy that could not be bigger.
Right.
Well, Bret, thank you so much for being with us, and thanks for your generosity toward the Fisher House. I don't want you to go away. I'm going to put you on hold and connect you with those people so we make sure we get that credit card number.
Thanks, Bret.
I counted on that.
All right, good deal. Thank you very
Thanks
much,
a lot.
Bret Baier. We appreciate it. It's 7:20.